to the two Britons, Ben Connor and Johnny Miller, just about side by side. So just behind, there's Tristan Woodfine of Canada, and so just a little bit further back, we can see Ben Connor, and he's just a few paces in front of Johnny Miller now. Yeah, I've seen them running fast in front of us over the last couple of laps, and that group did start to break up. Herzog was the one who put the pressure on. Begin with, Ben was looking as though he wanted to go with. And remember, Hannah, I said, well, we both said, didn't we, a little while ago, you still got half an hour to go. So they've dropped their pace now, but they're still running pretty strongly, and the two of them are racing now, and that will help. One of them's going to come out on top, obviously, but the two of them are almost helping each other to keep the pace moving.
No, the fantastic news is they're well on pace to get under that Olympic qualifying time, so we could see Ben Connor getting that Olympic qualifying time and joining Johnny Mellor, Callum Hawkins and Mo Farah as the British athletes with that qualifying time. But this is going to turn into a real race in the last couple of laps between these two, and I think they will push each other to get every second out of themselves.
2 laps to go for Ben Connor and Johnny Mellor, the two best British athletes in the race. And at the front, Kitata, well, he works on the family farm. He's got 4 sisters, 3 brothers. And he said, I started reading about the great Ethiopian runners when I was at school, and that's what got me involved. And you look at Lemma, when he first started running at age 17, he had to run barefoot. He couldn't even afford a pair of shoes, he said. And all of these guys, there's Chris Thompson just being passed with Dowie Griffiths as well. And, sorry, Josh Griffiths, of course, not Dowie Griffiths, Josh Griffiths. So these men, Lemma, and then Geramu, we said, and Wazirhun, who's performed so well here last year. But I keep saying, I've been really impressed by Kipchumba, Vincent Kipchumba, in the blue, the only Kenyan in that lead group. Then a gap, 50 metres or more to Kipchoge, Tola, Kipruto. I wonder if Tom was thinking, where's Kipchoge?
That's what I was thinking, exactly what I was thinking. Even in his adult state at the moment, he's thinking, hang on a minute, there's somebody missing there. He'll come past in a moment. But so these 3 are now together, Tola and Kipruto and Kipchoge. But yeah, fascinating up front though, because there are 6 athletes now battling it out for the London Marathon title. Hey, pardon, I thought 6. My maths is terrible. I think I might have been counting some of it. There's 6, there's 5, and just, I don't know, some sort of ghost running with them. But there we are, Tata still setting the pace. But look out for Geramu in the middle there in the orange. He's been tucked in the middle of the pack for much of it. And back to Connor and Mellor. Mellor just perhaps looking a little bit stronger, fresher. It's all relative, of course, than Connor, but still just about side by side. And what a race that's going to come down to for the British title.
And that's the first time we've seen Johnny Mellor go in front of Ben Connor in however many miles they're in. That's it. It's the first time Johnny's shown his colours.
Just seen Charlie Holston go through as well, still running fairly strongly. So these guys are not that far off being, I say being lapped. No, they're not going to get lapped. They're about a third of a lap ahead of the lead group here. So they're coming round. We'll be hearing the bell. Yes, the bell in the marathon. Last lap as we approach the 1 hour point. Lemma, Geramu, Kitata, Wazirhun, the 4 Ethiopians, and Vincent Kipchumba of Kenya as they pass Arnie Gabius of Germany. And Lemma now putting his foot down. Wazirhun, the first to drop off this group. Now we're down to 4 with just 1.3 miles left of running. Just under 2 kilometres. Kipchumba continues to look strong. Kitata's had his spell at the front. Cisse Lemma now with his big bid to try and break this group up a little bit more. But Geramu continues to look relaxed.
I feel like Geramu might have been thinking this day was never going to come. Kipchoge having a bad day, Bekele out injured, and Geramu, for me, looks cool, calm and composed there. And I don't know, I don't want to bet on him, but he's not missed a step in my mind the whole race. He's always been on every move and looks smooth and relaxed.
Well, when do they make their move though? This is a 1500 metre race now, less than that now. So Lemma out in front, still taking one last drink for one last surge, but Geramu just sitting in the middle there. But what are the tactics here? Because all 4 of these look pretty fresh, again, relatively speaking.
Well, Geramu, I've given you a little bit of background on the others. He grew up wanting to be a police officer, and actually he's officially an inspector in the Ethiopian police force, although I don't think he does any policing at all. He's from a family of 12, the sixth son in a family of 12. And his big step forward, he won the Great Ethiopian Run back in 2011, and he said that's when I knew I had a chance of making it, and he's got a chance here today, but so is Kitata, his turn. Geramu's the only one who really hasn't gone to the front. He's just covered the move, but Kipchoge, look at him. Look at those long stride, he looks still as though he's full of running. Lemmer just working a bit harder.
I mean, the advantage is that they've done this lap 19 times. They know it intimately. They've got to know what their preferred line is for their running style, for their height, for their stride. And they've got that blue line on the floor, which marks the shortest route, the racing line. But at least they know what's coming around every corner and how to maximise it.
So Kitata trying to stretch it out, down to 4 now. And we go back to the Battle of the Brits, which is still side by side, Ben Connor and Johnny Mellor. A real grimace from Connor, though. Remember, this is his first competitive marathon. 5,000, 10,000 metre man, but moving up to the marathon, moving up so well, and heading for the qualifying standard as well for the Olympics, which was his main aim. Johnny Mellor has it already, but now, of course, they're both thinking about the British title, which is the race within this London Marathon.
Absolutely, there's, like I said, there's prize money on the line, there's a British title, and for Johnny Mellor to back up his breakthrough performance of 2:10 and run another good time, and for Ben Connor this would be a fantastic debut.
Okay, so as Johnny Mellor starts to forge on Birdcage Walk, just about to turn into Birdcage Walk, behind them are the leaders on their last lap. The British boys have still got a lap to go, and now Kipchoge pushes or tries to push on as they've just passed Charlie Hulson. At the back is Lemmer, then Geramu's covered every single move. Kitata still trying to move it on, and there's a chopping and changing and moving around and just trying to feel each other out here as it imperceptibly, the pace just picks up. Kipchoge from Kenya, the other three Ethiopians. Geramu second here last year to Kipchoge, Kitata second the year before to Kipchoge. Can one of them take the victory this time round, or will it still be a Kenyan in charge at the end? We've got about 600-700 metres, maybe 800 metres left of running.
Well, you think about the first London Marathon and 2 men side by side going across the line. This is the 40th, and 4 men who are still so close and separated by so little. Just a little bit further back, Johnny Mellor really has dropped Ben Connor. Connor having agonies in the final stages of this marathon, but still running pretty well and just hoping for that finish line to come. But what a finish we're going to have up at the front here. Geramu now looking around, and is he beginning to fall back of the lead 3?
Geramu under pressure, he's looked comfortable, but if you haven't got pace, if you can't pick it up, nothing you can do about it. He could probably keep running that pace for another 3-4 miles, who knows. So now we're down to 3. I was beginning to think we were going to get that great race when there were 4 or 5 men coming into the mile together a few years back, but now there'll only be 3 as Geramu takes a look behind. Nothing happening behind him, it's all in front of him. Lemmer, Kipchoge and Kitata. Lemmer last year, 3rd in the Berlin Marathon when he ran that 2 hours 3:36. One of the quickest runs of all time. Kitata still nibbling away at the front, isn't he? Still looking as though he's got what it takes, but you have to say Kipchoge for a long time has looked good and has looked comfortable. This is going to be a sprint. Who's got the legs? A couple of more corners left. A few hundred meters of running, that's all. It's like a track race now. Kitata just with half a metre. Lemmer's back there as well. Kipchoge looks as though he's ready, but can any of these men raise anything more than just an increased cadence? Can any of them actually start sprinting? They'll be tired, the legs will be hurting. And now Kipchoge on this side and Lemmer on the other side. Kitata's the only one who responds, or it's Kenyan who's just forging ahead. Not by much though, it's only half a metre. Neck and neck, stride for stride. Kipchoge and Kitata, the two of them locked in battle. Nobody giving even half a centimetre, but now Kitata finds a little bit extra. It's going to be Kitata who takes the victory. Kipchoge second, Lemmer third. A great finish to the men's London Marathon in 2020, and it's Ethiopia who take the title in the form of Shira Kitata, second 2 years ago, and it's sweet, sweet victory for him in this very special year. Geremu, even though he looked the best, couldn't raise the sprint that the others could. Wazahan, his teammate, the two men who were second and third last year, having to watch others contend the finish as Charlie Holson takes the bell on his last lap. And then we'll be watching for Kipchoge to come up the home straight. But the battle for the British title continues.
Stay there.
I'll go back to that in a second. Here he is, Eliud Kipchoge. Well, apart from his Olympic victory in Rio, this is his slowest of his marathons, and the first time he's been beaten since 2013, and the first time he's finished as low down, and I use that as a phrase which many athletes would be happy to finish in the top 6 in the London Marathon, but not this man.